Well, folks, Donald Trump may be showing up to the Super Bowl this Sunday, but I don't know if he'll be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs after what just happened. At least that's my completely unbiased opinion. Because Chiefs star quarterback Patrick Mahomes just inadvertently humiliated Trump in spectacular fashion. And even though this is a lighter and on the surface seemingly trivial matter, I'll share with you at the end of this stupidly embarrassing saga why this is very bad for Trump, Republicans, and the rest of America writ large. And before you even go there, it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. So buckle up for some internet fuckery, hit that like button, subscribe to join La Resistance, and let's dive in. Now you may be asking yourself why and how the would and could Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes humiliate the sitting president mere days before the Super Bowl he's set to attend. I mean, after all, isn't his wife an ardently annoying Trump-supporting maggot herself? She sure is. But here's the kicker.
For the ladies present today, some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
No, not that misogynistic meathead. The metaphorical kicker is that Trump actually started this whole beef, scandal, whatever you want to call it, himself. You see, last night at, of all places, an event where he signed an executive order to ban trans women from women's sports, Dementia Don had this to say to Alabama Republican Tommy Tuberville, who once coached football at Texas Tech.
And Tommy Tuberville, a great coach. You know, his quarterback was named Mahomes. He was a great college coach. And I said, how good was he? He said, you don't want to know how good. He made me into a great coach. He's pretty good quarterback, right? Yeah, he was very good.
But you see, Dementia Don here must have done his own research the Republican way, by which I mean not doing any research whatsoever. Because here's the second kicker, Tuberville didn't care that Donald Trump just pulled that little factoid about him coaching Mahomes right out of his ass, and instead decided to double down on the newfound glory and run with it. Because if there's one thing Republicans love, it's campaigning themselves on a bunch of bullshit. Though to be fair, he did make one teensy little correction that ended up making its way to Patrick Mahomes himself, as we'll see in a moment.
He's pretty good quarterback, right? Yeah, he was very good.
A few moments later.
Last question. So does this mean, since you used to coach Patrick Mahomes, that you're rooting for the Chiefs at the big game this Sunday?
Well, I never even coached him. What happened is I recruited him, and then I left and went to another school. But I've got to be very good friends with him.
Right, that clip is from the incredibly reputable Megyn Kelly with a Y show.
Taylor Swift just endorsed Kamala Harris. She posts a picture of herself with her cat. I'm allowed to criticize Taylor Swift, and I don't give a shit who gets upset. This is disgusting. If she wants to vote Harris Walsh, she can do it all she wants. But to say the reason she's doing it is because of Tim Walz's stance on LGBTQ, F you, Taylor Swift, and F all of the people who want to see these children have body parts chopped off and watch them sterilized under the age of consent.
Because why the would anyone without brain damage watch that show? And he posted that clip on Twitter saying, as a coach, you start recruiting and working with players years before they get to college. Patrick Mahomes was one of the best players I ever had the opportunity to recruit and get to know. Looking forward to cheering him on this weekend when I join President Trump at the Super Bowl. You ever wonder if these geriatric Republicans just have like Trump ass flavored suckers in their office? Food for thought. Now you may also be able to see that there's already a community note there because apparently this made its way all the way to Patrick Mahomes today, who was giving interviews before the Super Bowl, and he had a bit of a correction for the Republican from the state that's ranked 45th in education. You see, when asked about Tuberville's clarification that he had recruited Mahomes, Mahomes had this to say.
Meanwhile,
he did not recruit me at the time, so I don't remember if I ever got to meet him or not.
you get the idea.
Yeah, it turns out Mahomes would prefer that credit for his own success not be given where it isn't due. Because not only did Mahomes not play for Texas Tech in the time Tuberville coached there from 2010 to 2012, he didn't even receive an offer until April 2012 when Cliff Kingsbury was already coach. Now look, is this a silly, stupid internet drama story for the fun of it? On one level, absolutely yes. Other news is depressing. But on a deeper level, It is emblematic of exactly what is wrong with American politics right now, because most people won't hear or care about this. Most people are too tuned out to look at Trump's dementia-ridden brain literally melting out of his malignant narcissist casing and see that his penchant for making shit up, like turning Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East or threatening trade wars, are already and will continue to have devastating real-world consequences. He let the world's richest man have access to the Treasury payment system. He hasn't done a single thing to fix prices, and in fact has given corporations carte blanche to use your tax dollars to purchase stock buybacks, cut your Medicare, and let teenage coders run amok using AI to figure out what vital US services for Americans and the world writ large can be gutted in the name of move fast, break everything, cut regulations for the fuck of it and see what happens. And not only that, but this story shows the comical levity of Republicans sucking his nutsack and going along with whatever he says. That is emblematic of how easily they go right along with making camps for unwanted people, politicizing and weaponizing the justice system, and sending people who haven't even committed the number of felonies that Trump himself has to the human rights violation that is Guantanamo Bay. And so I say, fuck it. If I have to use the internet humor and levity of situations like this to get the point across that this is exactly what the heart of this slippery slope into fascism is, then so be it. Because so many people don't seem to realize, and we have to be diligent about what is going on here, and humor is an incredibly useful tool to make this shit palatable. Because at the end of the day, we cannot stop speaking about it. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Donald Trump, go birds, and regardless of what side you're on, if anything I said spoke to you, or if you just want the levity part of our videos and feel like bouncing before I get too preachy, fine. But do me a favor and drop a like, subscribe to join the resistance, and hell, do something today to be a better person than you were yesterday. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
And Tommy Tuberville, a great coach. You know, his quarterback was named Mahomes. He was a great college coach. And I said, how good was he? He said, you don't want to know how good. He made me into a great coach. He's pretty good quarterback, right? Yeah, he was very good.
A few moments later.
Last question. So does this mean, since you used to coach Patrick Mahomes, that you're rooting for the Chiefs at the big game this Sunday?
Well, I never even coached him. What happened is I recruited him, and then I left and went to another school. But I've got to be very good friends with him.
Meanwhile.
He did not recruit me at the time, so I don't remember if I ever got to meet him or not.
You get the idea.